All right, hello out there, everybody. Hopefully everything sounds good and looks all right. Today I've got about an hour and wanted to do something I think will be really fun for everybody. So I sent out an email yesterday. My wife had asked me a couple days ago what I want to do in the future. I think we were talking about what the kids are doing in the future and stuff, and I kind of mentioned I mentioned a lot of the normal stuff that I always mention, and then I mentioned that I also kind of want to build a game, and I've been saying it for like the last 10 years or so that I wanted to start and just make a game sometime in my spare time as soon as it was something that I could just get around to. So when I thought about that, I thought, well, why don't I just actually do it? I could keep talking about it, been talking about it forever. I may as well just kind of start, spend a little bit of time building a game and see how it goes. And the kind of game that I've been wanting to build for the longest time is just a real-time strategy game. I used to love RTS games back in the day. I used to love Age of Empires, Command and Conquer, Supreme Commander, a lot of those different RTSs. My favorite though was Command and Conquer Zero Hour. I'd play that pretty much nonstop, just thousands and thousands of games of that. It was a blast. So I wanted to kind of create something similar in that vein with a little bit of a twist, something that I've been thinking about for a while, which is like a larger scale RTS. Initially, I was thinking like a really large scale, maybe like 100-player RTS, kind of based on the battle royale sizes. But my thought now is that I want to build something that's maybe 16 players and you can play in an hour. Let me switch over to my Millinote board and you guys can see a real quick set of the notes and then all the extra stuff that's on just the default board that I've got here. Um, so a couple things that I wanted to go with were making the games last like 1 to 2 hours at most. So if I was thinking 16 player map with 16 people in there, you get in, the game is over in an hour because the world shrinks down with a storm or something else. So everybody's got to kind of fight to get to the middle, right? And then I was thinking, obviously RTS 16 or 32 players. I think I'm going to start with 16 and then kind of work the way up. And I'll start 16 with bots and NPCs first and to get things working before worrying about switching over to multiplayer. And I know multiplayer is a big piece, and if I was doing this as like a AAA commercial game, I would get the multiplayer part working first because I know it was a thing I was actually gonna finish and release. This though, I want to make sure that I'm motivated and that I like it and that it's actually fun. It's just an interesting idea. I want to make sure that it's a fun one before spending too much time in it. So I'll work on it as 16 players, and yeah, I kind of want to base it on Command and Conquer Zero Hour style stuff. So semi-modern, semi-futuristic, but then also with armies that are a bit more scrappy that don't have all the tech but have other advantages like the ability to move their base around, which I think would be extremely valuable in a game like this where you got to get into the middle to not die. So this is for everybody that hasn't seen this. This is just Millinote. It's just the default game design board. You create it and it loads up with all this sample stuff. So all of these things are just samples. It's not stuff that I've put in here. All I've put in was my project stuff and the two kits that I've added in here to look at. This is just kind of remind me like, hey, I want to go fill in some stuff and start thinking about the actual game design. So I just left in the sample stuff. It kind of just motivates me and kind of reminds me like, oh yeah, I should think about like what do I, because now I'm thinking like maybe I'll put in my armies and stuff that I want to put in there later. And then for the kits. So real quick before we get jumping into the actual kits, they're the one that I used. These were, I did a search on the asset store 2 days ago trying to find what I wanted to use to start. Because at first I thought like, hey, maybe I'll just start coding it. I'll start building it from scratch. I'll start by making some units, make them move around, do a selection system, do an army system, do a team system. Then it was like, if somebody else asked me like, hey, I want to make an RTS, what should I do? I would tell them go look at the RTS kits, go grab one, see if there's one out there that already kind of does 90% of what you want your game to do, and if so, start with that. And then if you need to swap it out later, you need to change it because it doesn't work, or you need to extend it. But start with that and don't start right from zero. There's no reason to start from zero, just like I wouldn't start without a game engine. So I've figured I'll take a look, see what's out there, and there were quite a few different options. I think there were like 7 or 8 total, and I narrowed it down to these two. I'll show you the two. The one I ended up going with is the second one, so I'll show you the one that I didn't go with first, but it also looked pretty good. So this one was RTS framework. It's pretty cheap. It was only 15 bucks, relatively cheap compared, and it already kind of had that sci-fi and military theme, and it did some things that the other one doesn't do. So I still am not 100% sure that I'm sold on my choice being the correct one. But this one looks like it does placement, movement, and it did. I think it did like vehicle wheel movement and stuff. More realistic turning, if I remember. Yeah, realistic wheel vehicle turning and all that kind of stuff. It seemed like it could be kind of good for like a sci-fi RTS. But then I got into this one. Not where's it at? This one, RTS engine. I don't know why I just goes the wrong one here. There we go. This RTS engine one, and you can see here that this one's got like a full-fledged setup already. It already is kind of like it basically gives you the core basics or base of an RTS with bots, and it's got multiplayer support and a bunch of other stuff. It was more expensive, but and 60 bucks for the start of a game is dirt cheap. I mean, compared to just the price of art assets alone. But this one looks really cool. So this is the one I decided to go with. I installed it yesterday, late last night, gave it a little bit of a try, and started looking through their documentation, which is also really good. Let me just pull that up. And then today I wanted to just get in there and start kind of trying to implement my idea, see what kind of the core is like, show everybody that. So if anybody else wants to build an RTS, I guess you could jump in and try the same thing. And then just kind of show the process and go through it and see how quick or how far we can go in about an hour. And then if it's something people are interested in, I'm sure I'll do a bunch more of these, talk more about it in detail and talk about specific things that people are interested in. But you can see they got all these tutorials. They had a lot of documentation, which I thought was really nice. And it's not like the bad kind of documentation, like here's what this class's name is. It's actually just step by step on how to do things, how to set things up. And the package was pretty well organized. So I'm going to shut up now and just open up the project and show everybody what it looked like. Let me see. I've got 2 scene views here real quick. I don't know why. And an update notification. All right, I think I've got this up here. Let's see. Let's pull up the sample scene. So here I already pulled in the package, so you guys don't have to watch me grab it. But I've got an empty project with this RTS engine pack just pulled in from the package manager, and it's got its own menu here. I haven't actually gone through all of this. I did use the configure new map, but I haven't played with the new units, buildings, and all that other stuff yet. So I'm gonna go into the demo folder and into the scenes, and it had this campaign menu. I'll just hit play, take a quick look at it, and then we'll see what it looks like in play mode. So there are 2 modes on this campaign menu, if I remember right, and I've only tried one of them so far. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, there's scenario 1, collect different types of resources, and scenario 2, eliminate orcs. I'm gonna show number 1 again because that's the one that I remember trying. I don't think I tried number 2. So I'll try this, and then I'll load in the other one. So you see, I could jump in, and we've basically got an RTS. Got a little villager. I think he's going to go out and start collecting wood. I expect he's going to just run back, bring me some more wood, and I can build more villagers. It kind of like starts as already, a working system at least, or a working basic RTS that has the core fundamentals of gathering things and moving stuff around and building units. Looks cool. All right, let's see. Let's build something else real quick. So I build a barracks right here. And I think I can even put multiple guys on here to make this thing build faster. Yep. So they're going faster, faster, faster. Let's get more guys on there. Did that set it as a point? I'm trying to set it as a waypoint. Yep. Sweet. It even has waypoint stuff built in. I right-clicked on it to just make this the waypoint for this castle. Everybody's building my barracks. Trying to make it faster, faster, faster. Let me just pause real quick and go into the map real quick. Just show everybody kind of really quickly what it looks like in here. So one of the things I liked about this asset, ignoring all of the stuff that's at the root, these are the spawned guys, was that everything was just kind of organized. A lot of times things aren't organized. This one's got everything pretty organized. They're just a group of manager scripts that all have the different things that are managing different systems. Input manager's empty. That's an interesting one. I guess that's where you'd put your input manager. Selection 1, movement, units, UI. There's all kinds of different stuff. Mission manager. I wonder what the missions are for. have to figure that out. I bet that's in the other scene. And then a God mode option. Oh, that's for the button. Okay. And then they got the environment stuff. The camera. The camera is actually pretty simple to deal with too. Let me show that real quick, and then we'll jump over to that other mode. So there was a main camera manager here, and again, one of the things I liked about this asset was they had it really kind of componentized, so all of the things that you want to control are in separate components. And here, let's see, can you see it? No, you can't see it because my big head is in the way. Let me move my big head out of the way. There we go. Without my head there, you can see that we've got a max height. And here, let me uncheck maximize on play. Play again, and I'm zoomed all the way out right now. I'm gonna mute the audio. And zoomed all the way out right now, and I'm at is this 50 really? But I can crank this up to, let's see, 150. And now I can go, yeah, way up here. So I guess that's pretty high. I think the default might have been something like 30, and I had cranked it up to 50 beforehand yesterday. So there you got easy controls over a lot of these things, and they've kind of got it all set up. I haven't gone through the whole thing, but it looks like they've got a lot of control in there and a lot of customization. So it seems like it's going to be a good starting point. Kind of let me know, or let me do most of the things that I want to do from scratch. So I want to try out the Eliminate Orks one real quick, get an idea of what's in there. I think it's one of the things kind of important is to make sure that I have a good idea of what I'm actually using and what's included before I start using it, so that I don't try to go in and like recreate things that already exist in there. Okay, what have I done here? What's going on? Why is my my screen gray and the eliminate? Oh, do I need to beat the first campaign? Is that the way that's set up? Oh, that would suck. Am I missing something here? Why is my screen all gray? What have I done? I think I broke everything. Let's see. Oh, unlock scenarios. There we go, bam. There we go. Now I'll load it. Okay. Eliminate 2 orcs. Eliminate 2 orc units without letting the villagers die in less than 2 minutes. Ah, this must be what that mission system is. So I need to eliminate 2 orcs. But I only have 2 minutes to do it, and I have no units to fight with. Wait, what can I make for units? Okay, I can make villagers and healers. Maybe my villager can build a barracks. I don't know. Can I build a barracks that quick? Where's an orc? I don't know where to find an orc. Oh, there's an orc right there. Okay. Got it. So I need to find one of those guys and take my guys and have them go kill it. Go kill the orc. Let's see if they can do it. I have no idea if they can actually kill an orc or not. Oh, they won't even attack an orc. Lazy villagers. Okay, so they need to build a barracks. I think I've lost this one. And then this guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to lose. Okay, anyway, I've got an idea of how this works. So let me pause real quick and just take a look at this scenario thing. So let's go to 2D mode and zoom out a bunch and just take a peek. Whoa. There we go. So this is the scenario mission panel. Sorry, not scenario. We got a mission panel here, and then it's got some text on it. And where's this set up? Missions. I'm going to search here for missions. I'm just kind of curious what this mission stuff is. MISS. So we got, oh, there's a mission manager right here. And then it looks at a scenario, and let's just open up the code. So we got to, oh, no, I just clicked through a link. So we click through the scenario, and the scenario, does that have missions on it? What is this? Oh, mission settings. Got it. So this is the mission right here. Okay. I want to see what this code looks like real quick. Let's see. Let's open up the scenario script real quick. I'm going to open up Writer. My Writer window go. There it is. And let's just find that that mission stuff. So here's double shift, MISSION. Missions here. I'm going to minimize some of this stuff so you guys can see the code a bit bigger. And then we'll take a look. So, interesting. So it tells, okay, so you set a resource type. And I wonder if I bet the resource type is the characters there. All right, so let's see. I guess, how do I want to get started? So I think the first thing I want to do after kind of taking a quick peek at it is just start with importing in kind of my level idea. I don't know if that's a great idea, a great way to start, but it's somewhat motivating real quick. So I think that I'm going to do that first. And the level idea I kind of drew up here. Let me switch to a camera view real quick. It's going to be really dark here, but then we'll pull it in and kind of be able to see it. So let's switch to camera mode. It essentially looks like this. There we go. So basically 4 areas around the edge where players could land and build, and then 1 area in the middle where you'd want to fight over, because that's where the whole storm or the whole area is going to eventually shrink down to. Thinking like maybe the first half hour nothing happens. After half an hour it slowly starts to creep in or something, and there's motivation and reason to start fighting over the middle. And it kind of gives you a reason to either fight over the middle on the at the beginning, like right away. You'll try to get in there and solidify the point, which will be a lot harder, or try to build up on the outside so that you're strong enough to take the middle, at the 20 or 30-minute mark or whatever. So let's import that in. I already took a picture of it on my phone and emailed it to myself. And if I switch over to my desktop mode, I should be able to show it to you right here. Here's my beautiful artwork. Let me move my head again. There we go. So I'm going to use this as kind of a basis. And I use a little trick that my buddy Jason Story taught me to just take this picture, pop it onto a plane, and then kind of use that as my outline. Now, I'm not going to use it in Pro Builder. I'm going to just do it kind of on a terrain. So again, I'm a terrible artist, but this will work. It'll help me. So I'm going to take this file here that I've downloaded, and I've got to figure out, let's see if I can go grab that actual file. Here it is, show in folder, or can I just drop it right into the project? Yep. Okay, let me get to the root here. I'll just drop it into the project. If I can. Here, I'll drop it into the maps folder. There we go. All right, so I've got my image, my JPEG here. I'm going to make a new scene. So go File, New Scene, and we're going to make a new, I got to stop playing first. Then we'll go and File, New Scene. I think that's probably why I had the weirdness drag dropping there too. All right, in a new level, I've got my scene set up. We'll go to 3D mode. And pull up the live stream again so I can see chat and everything in case anything important emergency pops up. And then we'll add in a plane. So go to Game Object, 3D Object, and not a plane, we'll do a quad. So I got a quad here. Whoops. And I'm going to rotate my quad. Well, first, actually, let me just drop the material on there. Got my beautiful art now on my quad. Look at that. Looks great. Let's make this unlit. Unlit, texture. Probably don't need the bright lighting showing off of there. And then I probably should have trimmed it down too, but I don't really care. We'll rotate this thing. Let's see. E. Grab it and rotate, get our 90 degrees on the X, and we're going to reset the position here just back to 0, 0, 0. Hit F and focus it, and then I'll zoom out, and I'm going to scale the crap out of this. So I hit R and just zoom, 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 zoom. Scale it up nice and big. So we got like 150 meters of my beautiful, beautiful art. Now these are supposed to be like hills or something that are blocking the way. So let's generate a terrain now and see if I can use this to kind of build out my level. I don't know. We'll give it a try. So go to Game Object, 3D Object. I'm just going to create a quick terrain. I think I want to make this relatively small to start, because making a giant level where I got to wait for things for a long time seems like a terrible idea. So I'll make this like 100 by 100. Okay, that looks good. And then we'll move it over here to a -50, -50. So that way, if I do that when it's 100 by 100, then the center is going to be right here at 0, 0. Then I can scale this thing down a little bit, probably to like 100 by 100. And then move it up just a tiny bit to like 0.1. So it's right above there. Kind of see it. So I want to just make my terrain match this and then see if that's kind of even the right scale. Actually, you know what? Let's I'm going to save my scene. I'll call this 16 player map. And I'm just going to, I don't want to leave this in the RTS engines folder. Let's go, go back, not in there. We'll go into the root here and let's call this scenes. Oh, we already have a scenes folder. Let's just go into the scenes folder and put it there. 16 player map. We'll just use, it has that default Unity scenes folder. We'll just use that as the start. With that, I want to go into RTS engine and I'm going to hit configure new map. Watch this. So this is going to just set up all of the stuff. Oh, but it deleted my existing things, didn't it? Okay, so I need to, okay, let's undo that. Or, oh no, I just lost it. Okay, that's not a big deal. So apparently configure the map, saves so it changes everything and resaves your scene. So that was the wrong way to do it. Let me go just double check that. Let me go into, no, actually I don't think I've, let's see, where's that at? Let's go to the root. We'll go into the scenes folder, open it up. Don't save. Oh no, okay, I still have the thing. So here's what I'll do. I'm gonna make a new scene. Just so I can keep my two objects. Or do I even care about these two objects? I'm going to take these two objects, drag them right down in, and make them into a, there. I'll make them into a prefab for a moment, and then I'll regenerate it and just drag it out. I think of the easiest way to go about this. So we'll hit configure new map. Oh, what? Delete that. Now we'll try it. RTS engine, configure new map. Oh, hey, thank you, Rod. Oh. Rogerio. Sorry, I almost misread that. Hey, thanks. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, I got my menu or my map set up. Now I'm going to take the terrain that I just created, drag it back out, and take a look at it from here. Okay, so their whole map is kind of set up, already positioned. Is it over there? Let me see. Their default map. Maybe I'll just move mine over there to 0, 0 then. It looks like that's kind of where they've got it set up anyway, so I'll just stick with that for now. Okay, we'll move the, actually I don't need to move that terrain up. Let's see, we will expand this out. I think I want to just draw on my terrain now. Or actually, let's go find this other existing terrain. This terrain right here, which is just a mesh renderer with a plane. That's essentially what I've got right there. So, you know, maybe I'm going to start like that. Let me do this. Let's go into the root. And instead of drawing it out, let me start by, where's my material for this thing? Let's go find it. My quad. I've got the materials right there. Go find this thing. I'm going to drag that onto here. Not onto there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wrong one. Onto this terrain. There we go. So just drag that onto here and make the paper be my background for now. Turn off this terrain. Let's just hit play and see what it looks like. So this is like the new empty scene that it gives you when you hit the create scene button. So there we go. I've got this. And oh, I can already see like the scale is definitely not what I want. So imagine like this is an entrance here. That's what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be like the entrance into the middle area. And this is the scale of a small building. And that's the scale of a unit. Let's grab in like a barracks. I'll take one of those. Wait, where's the barracks at? Okay, well, check this out. But one of the nice things on this asset pack was that they have everything kind of neatly organized by system. If you've ever coded this way, it can be really cool and really nice, especially if you're building an asset where they've got essentially each system organized into a folder with its own stuff. So each system's got its own kind of separate folder for its editor things, which is like its editor scripts, its editor or its materials, the prefabs that it's got, the scripts for that system, and then the source materials, which is like the art assets, sound effects, or anything like that. So it's kind of a neat organization way to do it. I've seen it many times before. I've used it a couple times, and I really like it, and I thought it was something worth showing off real quick. Okay, let me shut up now and just drag out the barracks, though, so we can see what it looks like in scale compared to, so that'd be under prefabs, buildings, resources, prefabs. There we go. And grab out a barracks, and you can see like, yeah, this is, oh, whoops, way too high, so I can't see the actual scale. But this is still nowhere near the scale. I'm thinking like I want, you know, you can fit 8 buildings along the front of this. So I need to scale this up quite a bit. So I'm going to take my terrain, and instead of having it be 12, let's make it, I'm thinking maybe like times 5. So do times 5 here, which is just 60, but I just wanted to show that you can type in the times there, multiply. So there we go, times 5 and times 5, and that looks closer to the scale I want. So I'm thinking like an entrance about that big. Here, let's drag this over. What is this showing? I think this is like a mini map or something that's showing on top. Oh, it's the UI. Let me, I'm just gonna hide this for a second. just disable. Oh, I'm sitting here editing in play mode. Let's stop playing. Let's go in and actually make the changes outside of play mode. So I'm gonna just hide this canvas for a second, and then we'll go adjust this terrain. So take the terrain, and I wanted to move this up to 60 and 60. I'm gonna need to rebake the navigation. So I go to navigation, bake, let it rebake the nav mesh area so everything's walkable again, except for this little thing here. I switch off of navigation. If you don't have this nav window, by the way, it's under window and then AI and navigation makes that pop up. Or I think you might be able to just right click and hit add. No, you can't do it on add tab. It's not there. All right, so here we are on the inspector. And I've got my terrain set up. I'm going to take another barracks now and just drop it into the scene. Make sure that this is the correct scale and that I wasn't just crazy there. So I've got one here. Maybe this is a little small. So I was thinking kind of like, let's just zoom out a little bit. If people all land in, maybe you just kind of land in like on a battle bus style like Fortnite and come pick your spot and fly in and lock down, unless you're like the smaller scrappy ones that maybe they have a mobile one like a Jeep or something that lands, so they have weaker units but more mobility type thing, right? So you pick a spot, land, and then again trying to fight over this middle spot. So these would be kind of choke points, and these would be raised up hills. In fact, I feel like I should probably just raise those up to really kind of represent it. Maybe I should do this in Pro Builder and just block them up too. I don't know. I feel like a terrain makes more sense though. Yeah, actually using a real terrain object. But yeah, these would be like the choke points, and then you would try to get up to here and be like kind of a little bit of a ramp here, and then these are raised up, so you can't just walk over these edges. You gotta kind of go up them, and then kind of a defensive point. I always liked RTSs where you could build like a defensive thing like that. You kind of build stuff up and try to defend it as one of the key strategies. And somebody asked if Milanote was free. They have a free version that lets you do like up to 100 cards, as long as you don't go crazy on the keeping all the default content in it when you make a board. Like if you make that game design board, it almost fills up the 100 cards. I use the pro account just because I use Milanote every day, but it's super cool. But I'd use the free one though. Just try it out if you like it. It's cool stuff. I'm going to scale this up a little bit more though. So I think instead of 60, let's do, I'm tempted to type in 100, but I don't know if that's going to be too big. Let's do it. I guess, that's the power of a computer, right? I can always undo it and change it. It's not like it matters. Take the barracks. Let's move it over here. I've got lots and lots of space. I mean, for 16 players, that might be closer to the space that I want. This might be too big, but I don't know. I think that I'll give this a go. This scale, got units can move across. I'm thinking it'd take like maybe a minute to a minute and a half to move like an infantry unit from one end of the map all the way to the other without it being interrupted or stopped. Another thing I was thinking is that these barriers here, they don't have to necessarily be like trenches or something. They could also be like pits of water or lava or something else to like build a bridge over or something else like that to get across. All right, let's see, with this setup, well, let me save real quick and just see what happens when we hit play. All right, so I got my unit here. Can I click on it? Yep, click on him, and I can still command him, so he'll move around. I got a mini map here that shows my my paper, which is great. You can see the beautiful paper drawing. Let me adjust that. I'm going to stop playing real quick and adjust the main camera manager's scale, or the size, the max height. I don't like that 50. I want to go to 150 because this is so much bigger. I think 50 made a lot of sense for that really small map, but since I scaled up the map to like 3 times the size, or more than 3 times the size, almost like 8 times the size, it makes sense to make it bigger. All right, so there you can go. See kind of where he's able to move. Ooh, I think I'm locked in by something. Something's preventing my camera from moving any further. Why can't I rotate? So middle mouse and turn, middle mouse and turn. Oh, it won't let me rotate further than that. That's interesting. I assume that's another option on there. And then this character. I wonder if there's something preventing the motion in that direction. Let's see. How far over can I go this way? Oh, I can get to the point where I can kind of see the edge of the map. And here, let's see, if I hit space, it focuses my dude. All right, so I think I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. I think I may have gone a little bit overboard here on the scale. Since we're just starting out, I can always, again, I can scale it up later. Let's scale this down to like half that size. I think 50 and 50. And then I'm going to go nav mesh and bake it again. Just because I made a decision to make it giant doesn't mean I got to stick with my bad decision. So I think that seems a little bit more reasonable, and then allow me to just kind of get back into developing. I don't want to sit here and deal with my map's too large problems when I've got myself and I haven't even set up my first bot yet. So we'll make sure that it works and that I can move around, that I can set up myself, set up some AI, and then see what else we can do after that. Okay, so we've got the ability to move around. I've got this building here that I can click on that doesn't do anything, and then I've got a barracks, and the barracks I can't do anything with. And we've also got an exception here in the selection manager saying that what is this? Selected, get the list of selected units. When does that? Let's see. When did that happen? I'm just kind of curious. I'm not going to sit here and debug that thing or try to fix it, but just curious what that was. So click that, nothing happens. Okay, so I can't actually use this barracks. Now, this is one of the few things that I actually looked up kind of in advance and played around with a little bit yesterday. And to set this up, you've actually got it, if you want to use a default building or a default entity for a team, the default way to do it was in this game manager. So you went into the game manager, and then the custom editor for this was a little bit screwed up. I don't know if it's just me or just this version of Unity, but it has this default faction entities you could set up. I don't know. We'll set up a second one in a minute. I haven't set that up yet. I'll start with the first one. You see that it's got 2 instances of things, and you can kind of see it there. The problem is that faction types just shows up right on top of it. Let me let's change this. Where's this at? Game manager script. Edit script. So what are we looking at there? It's default faction entities. Let me find that. Let's see. So default faction entities. Where is that on here? So it's got the faction entity. Is that what? Hold on, I gotta look at that again. So it's in this array. I just want to find what these elements are. The default faction entities. What is that rendering? Where's the thing at? That is this one, right? No. Maybe it is. Let's see. So we got faction entities, and I want to change. Oh no, this is definitely not it. Where's the default ones? Init default entities. There we go. Maybe if I wasn't so blind. All right. So this one goes through, finds the factions. Got it. Okay. And then this is faction slots. And then in the faction, what am I missing here? Instances and faction types. Let me find the instances. Right here, faction slot. Okay, that's what we want. So I'm gonna take this and move it up one line. Default faction entity. It was literally named that. How I didn't find it, I don't know. Right? Like I said, to practice searching for things. All right, let's stop playing. Yes, main canvas is still disabled. Thank you for reminding me. Let me go turn that back on and hit play. All right, let's zoom out a little bit and hit play. Okay, I'm gonna make sure the canvas was working again. I forgot I had turned that off already. So, okay, now we're gonna go make this building clickable again. So go back to that game manager, and I wanted to change those up so that instances would show down here, and I could see it above faction types because faction types is empty anyway. I'm not using it yet, at least. All right, so instances. What we got to do is just hit plus and add in the other building that we want. So this new barracks that I just added, let's double click on it. That one right there. I want that to be a default one, and I just added it. And I think that's all I've got to do. I'm going to move this underneath factions. So they've got the default stuff just kind of sitting there, the test building and test unit. I'll put the barracks there. Just hit play real quick and make sure that works. So Now I should be able to use the barracks if I can find it. Let's see, barracks, where are you? Well, where did it go? Okay, the barracks disappeared. Ah, okay, so there's an issue here. I remember this. I remember playing with this. If you look at the error log down here, it says building with code barrack must be placeable outside faction's border or belong to one of its building centers, and the value was false. So if you open it up and double click on it, you can see that here it's just checking, it's actually using an assert. So what'll happen here is it'll actually throw an exception and just stop execution of this. So it'll say place outside the border. If you can't place it outside border or you're not inside the border, then you can't use it. So we've got to change that barracks up. Go to the project view, go to the barracks, and I'm going to start just by shortcutting it and allowing us to place it wherever I want. So I believe that's under building placer. Yeah, they've got this building placer. Like I said, they've got a separate script for just about everything, which makes it pretty easy. So you can use the place by default option. I'll stop playing and hit play again, and then I think that'll allow it to just be kind of a default place thing. And obviously, I don't think you would want barracks to be placed by default most of the time, but oh, and then it needs the place outside border too, huh? Is that the issue? That's weird that you get an empty half of a barracks if you place it outside the border, though. So let's hit that too. Place outside border. I'll try that out. All right, now I've got a barracks, and in the barracks I can build some units. Let's see if the units build up. It's cool they got spaceships in here too. So any second now I should get this guy, and then he can run around on my piece of paper. My beautiful, beautiful drawing. Let's see, did he come out of there? Yep, looks like he spawned just fine. Now I've got a knight to run over here. All right, so this is going to give me, all right, I guess kind of the core pieces. So now I got to decide. I don't know if I want to do a little bit on the level side and actually kind of like make the terrain here, or this map into a terrain for a second, or start thinking about the units and stuff first, or just the area. I don't know. There's so many different options on things to do. I think I'm going to start with the train because it's an easy one to just kind of like, I know exactly what I'll want to do and how to get started on it and not have to think too much in front of everybody. So let's jump in and we'll start with the terrain real quick. We'll just make a terrain game object under it. This is going to be pretty quick. Go to terrain and I'll just leave it named terrain. Drop it underneath as a child. I'll reset the position, hit F, zoom out, drag it so that it kind of covers the map. And then what are we looking at? About half the size. So 500 and 500 instead of 1,000, 1,000. Looks like that fits perfectly onto there. And then we need to give it some texture. I don't know if there are any textures in this pack. I assume that there are some terrain textures already. So go into the paint mode. Choose paint texture, and then let's see, do we have anything set up yet? Nope. So we'll go add a terrain layer. We'll hit create terrain layer, and then here you just got to give it a texture that you want, and it'll create the material for it. Do we not have anything green and grassy at all? Oh, that's sad. I thought we would have something in here. Why did I think that there was a green texture? I wonder if they just used a material on there that was solid or something. Well, here, let's do, oh, that looks, I mean, that'll work for a second, and then we'll, maybe I'll make 2 layers like that. And no, I'm going to go grab something. Let's go to window, package manager. Let's get some actual cartoon textures. Let's see, toon terrain, or toon textures, or something like that. I want some kind of a texture pack. I think that's the one. Where was it? Tiling cartoon textures. I like this pack a lot, so I'm going to use this one. These ones just look cool. At least from what I remember. Oh, wait. Is this the right? Yeah, I think it has a whole bunch of them in there. Let's pull it in. Yeah, rocks and grasses and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I think I kind of like the different areas to be different, like themes, like kind of a jungly area, a rock area, maybe like a beachy area, all with like some sort of a different advantage so that people have different reasons to go there. But I also kind of thought like it'd be interesting to have it be randomized too. But I don't know, randomized, I always think it's going to be good, and then it ends up not being nearly as good as I think. So let's go with maybe this grass 5 simple as the first one, and then I'm going to add in a dirt. Got to start with this dirt one, and then yeah, I think that's probably good. All right, so let's see. Let's take my terrain here, drag it down just a tiny bit, maybe like negative -0.1, right below there. And I think I'm going to start just doing a little bit of, do I want to paint it first or raise it up? I think I'm just going to paint it. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, go into here, and go to, let's see, I guess I'm going to move this up. I'll just let them Z fight right there. I can see where it's at. And then expand out my brush size. So down here I've got, oh, I gotta move my head out of the way again. Got my brush options. We'll just crank up the brush size a little bit, and I'll just paint this part brown to match the part that I want to be the barriers. So these are like the raised up parts or the hills. I'm just gonna paint them all to match what I was thinking. So right here's another one. Paint this thing up. Looking good. And then the edge of it's going to be right about here. So I'm just going to paint that too. Just paint along my edge of my map. There we go. Go over here and get these other high points. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll get the center here. So it goes right over here and around. Whoops, let me undo that. That was a little sloppy there. Go and get that part. And then over here. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this without the Z file. I could just make my texture. You know what? I'm gonna do that. Let's do that. Let's go to my my material here. Let's just make this. Let's see. Let's go to transparent. Wait, what did I pick there? Let's see. Unlit. Yeah, transparent. And then, actually, no, I don't use transparent. Let me use what was I thinking I wanted to do? I was thinking I was use a sprite and then fade. What am I thinking? All right, like getting distracted here. I'm just gonna draw. I'm not gonna. I was thinking to make it semi-transparent, but I'm not gonna waste the time because this is gonna take me another 10 seconds, and I'm realizing I'm getting distracted, and I don't have time to get distracted because we gotta go quick. So paint, 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 and then we'll go over here, paint this area up. This will be that raised area where I put the barracks. This would be like basically like it's a choke point where you'd put some stuff there and build up your units and try to defend or prevent people from coming out and start your attack to go into the center, I guess. At least that's the thought. I mean, who knows how it'll actually turn out, right? All right, let's build that piece up right there. And then is that it? I think so. Let's see. Got the edges here. Gonna kind of mark those real quick. Right there and there. Cool. Let's hide out that material. And I've got kind of the rough of my map. Again, I am a terrible, terrible, terrible level designer. So when it comes down to actually building out the real level from a game, I will without a doubt find one of my good designer friends who's good at design and have them actually create the level and build the thing out. But I want to have somewhat of a rough thing because you need to be able to test and actually develop and design the game on top of something. So I'm going to make sure that I've got kind of a core that fits with the theme or the basic idea of the layout of the game, and then go from there. Let them make it cool after that. Make it nice and fancy. So everything outside of that brown area there is going to be kind of off limits. In fact, let's just make a water layer real quick. Mark that all off limits, and then we'll start figuring out the next piece real quick. So over here, go over here to water. Make this big. There we go, bam. So this is kind of like the edge of the map right there. I don't know if I necessarily need that much on there, but whatever. We'll shrink it down later. Again, not the kind of thing I need to worry too much about. I just want to get this rough map done. And maybe it'll be like hills on the other side instead of water. So switch to the dirt texture and I'll just paint that over there. Let's make this a little bit bigger though. Drag that out. There we go, something like that. And this is like, maybe it's like up against the mountain, right? You get higher incline as you go. So again, since you're gonna have, I want to have people kind of drop in. I want them to have a reason to pick different areas based on like what army they picked. And I still want to do it more like the Command and Conquer style, where there's just a ton of different armies. I'm thinking like following their lead and going with like a full 16 different armies that you can pick from, and then maybe the different ones are better just in different spots or something. I mean, definitely they're better in different spots. So let's do some height painting. We'll just do a little bit of raising real quick. So you just switch to the raise lower tool in Unity. You can start just kind of raising it up easily right there. I don't know why Alexa's talking to me. That was interesting. And start kind of raising this area up. I want this whole center area to be high when then there are, let's see. Let's change the brush here. Let's go to, ooh, I have not seen this brush before. Here we go. So we'll raise it up here, here. I'm thinking maybe about, I want to figure out the actual height here. So here's a unit, and that's about a normal unit height. And I want this to be definitely taller than 1 unit. Let me just double check that that's actually a regular unit height. So it's a scale of 1 meter, and it's just a, yeah, it's just a capsule, looks like. Did I miss something here? Let me double check. Nope. And we look at the test unit underneath. Actually, I should double check the model here. Oh, this is scaled down to 0.8. So here, I'm going to create a game object that's just a cube so I can just make sure that I've got my exact scale of a character here. Drop that right here. So this cube, if it was 2 meters tall, assuming I'm going to have slightly taller like sci-fi characters, this is about my normal character height. So that is definitely not a hill big enough to defend. So let's see if we can figure out a scale that's right. So I'll go back to my terrain, and we'll go back to the terrain height painting and crank this up. So I'm thinking more than that, maybe around that height, high enough that you can't get up it and you wouldn't be able to just drive a tank up it. So yeah, somewhere right around there, right? Looks about good. And then the entrance is going to be right up here. So we'll kind of blend that up so you can get in. Same thing over here. And these don't have to be exactly uniform. I guess they could be. Oh, you know, that one's a little bit off center, huh? That there. Did I have, yeah, I had entrances there and there. So entrance here. And then I'm going to kind of flatten out this center part. I could probably just paint the height too. Again, I'm definitely not a level designer or level builder, but it's so fun getting in here and just playing around and building it up. Let's do a little bit of smoothing real quick. Start smoothing this out, and then I'll just flatten out the center area so that it's actually buildable. I don't want to just kind of smooth it, get a little bit of bumps here. Can get my area slightly figured out. Yeah, God, I'm terrible at that. All right, let's do some painting of actual just set heights. So I'm going to set it to an actual height of, let's see, let me try 10. What's 10? Okay, so 10 is like that. That's 10 meters high. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just start with this. So we'll start with, I'll paint it up at 10, kind of in a rectangular shape. I think this will work better. And I can fix up the textures afterwards. So painted it in at 10, and then I'm going to go, oh, actually here, I'll paint up these two. I really like this shape. This actually helps me a lot because I'm not very creative with my shape design. So this works to make it easy for me to get the shapes that I want without having to make everything circles. All right, let's undo that. I went kind of sloppy there. Let's see. Right here. Build this in, and got an area here. So I'm thinking back here, I'm going to go even higher. So back there, maybe we'll go up to like a 20. And that part I'm thinking would just be inaccessible. This is like the mountains on the edge. Maybe there'd be like a little ledge where you can get across from one side to the other that people could control or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll even let you control. I don't know. Who knows? Doesn't really matter because it'd be the first place to go, right? It'd be the lowest value area, just up in the air. All right, so we've got that spot, and then we got this little. Oh, that's way too high. This should be back at a size of 5. Was it 5 or 10? It was 10. So set that back to 10, and we'll scale that up, and we've got another little block mountain there. All right, let's do some smoothing now. Let's switch over to the smooth height tool, and then we'll just smooth out the entrance here. So the entrance is meant to be right there. Let's just let's pop the mesh renderer on top of this, and oh, you know what? I want this to be a child. Let's go right click, 3D object, make a plane that's a child, and then let's take the material there and just drop that onto there. I think I want to do that. So that way I can take this plane and whoop, move it up and just verify. I'm going to uncheck the one on the base there. So I just want to verify my size and scale and my positions. You can see I was somewhat close. I kind of got it, but I missed by a bit here. So I want to bump that up real quick. Let me go back to the terrain tool. I'll go to the paint height or set. Let's see, set height right there. Go to 10, and I'm just going to grab that area. Look at that. That's much easier. Grab that, pull it in. Looks good. And I can see that I missed a little bit right there. And I didn't even do this block right here. So look at that one. All right, let's go to the smoothing tool now. Smooth height. I'm going to shrink down the brush size. Right now it's kind of big. I want to shrink down to make some entrances and do some. Ooh, that's too small. Maybe like a 12. Do the entrances here where it kind of blends up and down. So let's check this out. Do a little bit of blending right there. We're not going to be able to see it really well until I get rid of that that marker. Let's go get rid of that plane marker there so you can start to see it. And here you can see the blending of my entrance. And I think I might need a little bit more space for this entrance. Maybe I should have left it a little bit further back like it was, but let's just give it a go. Let's go back to the terrain tool. Go select the actual terrain. There we go. Then I've got my brush again. I'm going to crank up the opacity so that it smooths much harder. The opacity just makes it apply the effect a lot stronger. Yeah, and I'm going to crank up the brush size too. There we go. I need this to smooth out quite a bit stronger and get I want a steep entrance, but I don't want it to be like so steep that it's impassable. Okay, that's probably good. Let me go to the texture though and just clean that up a little bit. I think it'll be a little bit more clear what we've got here if we draw up that texture there. Oh, let's add a hill texture too. So do create layer, and there should be like there's rock, sand, stone. So like one that's a good cliff. I wonder what cliff looks like. Let's try cliff here. I don't know if this one's gonna fit here, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So switch to this cliff one. Shrink down that brush size. Put it there. It's a little too big of a brush size still. Let me try shrinking it down more. I think that works. I mean, it's not perfect, but it definitely represents what I'm trying to get across here. We've got some cliffs here that you can't really get up, right? It's kind of impassable cliff area. Let me try changing that texture. I wonder what the other ones look like. Let's see, like cliff simple. Ooh, I think might want to go with this the simple one that, I mean, it looks more cartoony, but I think that it shows a little bit better for what I want to do. I can always change it. Again, the art style is all temporary. I have a real artist make some real art. For now, I just use placeholder stuff. So this cliff edge will be good. Give us kind of the wall here, and then I'll do the smoothing again around the other spots. So actually, let's see. I'll smooth this part out, or draw this part out, and then I'll draw a little bit of dirt in there and start figuring out the levels and stuff. Oh, somebody's saying reduce the offset of the texture. Or are you talking about we're just reducing the size? Crank these down to like a 1, 1, or maybe like a 5 and a 5. Or no, 4 and a 4, 3 and a 3. maybe like 3 and 3. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Again, mostly just placeholder stuff until we get the final stuff in, or until actually get the game functional and working and stuff. That's kind of the core part. Make the game, make it work. Just get a little bit of stuff in here to represent what we want to do and have the areas kind of drawn out. So, oh, and I've only got 4 minutes until I've got Jesus. I have 4 minutes until my next meeting, but I think we'll just resume this maybe tomorrow at the latest afterwards. So let's just continue painting this up real quick, and then yeah, I guess tomorrow we'll just resume and keep building and stuff. Just get this going further and further, because what I want to do is get the armies in here battling over this spot real quick, so that we can go in and fight over it. Then set up the shrinking next, and then let me smooth out these. I've got this is I just really feel like I need to smooth out these entrances. It's driving me nuts. But let me get these smoothed out, and then jump over to Millinote and kind of figure out like the full plan, so everybody knows, and we can jump in and talk about it more in the next couple streams and stuff. Let's see, where's a dirt? Maybe I'll use this dirt with pebbles. Let's see, does that work? I think I like the driving up dirt. Yeah, probably not. Okay. I don't like that one at all. All right, I've got that piece in. I'm going to do the other smooth here, though. Let's get this smooth piece in. Ooh, everything's going really slow. Everything's responding really slow, probably because there's so many people watching the stream. All right, just kidding. Anyway, by the way, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing and stuff while we're waiting for Unity to hold, being busy, I definitely appreciate it. If you want to do more streams and go through the full process of, I guess, just building the stuff out and then eventually making a multiplayer, make sure that you're subscribed and all that too, so that you can join in and have fun with it. This is apparently just going to crash Unity. I don't know what's going on here. It's sitting here just waiting. I'm going to jump over to Millinote real quick, though, and just, I guess we'll start writing out some notes and some plans here. So, general stuff, again, I want it to be a 1 to 2 hour game where stuff shrinks down. The storm's going to kind of limit and knock us into an area where we got 16 players, and we're going to go in this CNC style era where we'll have modern, I guess, yeah, like basically like modern warfare type stuff. So it'll be pretty similar to Command and Conquer 0 Hour. I want to start putting in some notes, though, of stuff to do. So I'm going to move this concept art board out of the way since I don't have any concept art. Go into my new column here and just say next steps. Just give myself a quick list of things that I want to do in the next one. So let's add in a to-do list here, and I want to finish the rough terrain. I want to find I think I want to finish like a really simple battle loop with a bot. So I'm gonna set it up so go in, have a little battle loop in there with a bot with the existing units. Then I want to add in add new building for starting point at players click to place or drop in. So I kind of want to do that drop in part where you do the battle bus drop and land down on the ground and kind of build from there. And then what do I want to do after that? I think probably start adding in some units, adding in different faction units. The thing I like about this, though, is that I don't have to worry about, like, do I want to go make the selection system, make the army system, or any of that. Like, it's already there. I don't have to waste my time. I mean, again, I just want to be clear with this. Like, I'm going to use this kit to build stuff because I think it's going to save me a ton of time. It's going to make it a lot easier to get this thing done and get it started and actually make the game. I think if so here's the thing. I've started and built similar games to this maybe a dozen times and started them and then stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped. Usually because I would get into it and I'd start building out like part of a system or part of the game and then focus too much on that part of the game, or just eventually get bored of working on that part of the game. You know, you build a selection system, and then you make the selection system better. Then you build a camera system, and you start to worry or learn all the different cool things you could do with an RTS camera system, and starting to want to add those. And you keep doing more and more and more, and you never get around to actually building the game. So in this case, I really just want to start by building the game first, and then not worry about the systems until we need to swap them out or replace them. Make sure that you just can use the stuff that already exists that can handle the job and do the things for us, and then you recreate or modify or change or extend out to do the extra stuff. Like a lot of things that this kit's not going to do. It's not going to do a shrinking storm for me. It's not going to do all of the sci-fi or modern type units and stuff. It's not going to probably do the team-based stuff I want to do. I'd like to do 16 players. I'm thinking no reason you shouldn't be able to have teams of up to 8 players. You know, two-person teams, 3-person teams, 4-person teams, whatever you want, and then just kind of drop in. I want to do randomization of a bunch of different types, and I'm not 100% sure how well it's going to handle multiplayer. So I've not played with the multiplayer system. I don't know if it's great with it and the scale is great and everything's going to be perfect, or if it only works really well with like 2 or 4 players. I haven't seen it yet. My expectation and hope is that it's great, and that if it's not good enough for what I need, that I can make the modifications to make that happen. So I'm not too worried about it. Anyway, I've got a meeting starting 1 minute ago, so I guess I've got to get over to that. But if you guys want to see some more and just continue on, we'll keep building out the rest of this game, and I guess a lot more stuff. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share the videos and all that. And I think I'll just do another one of these tomorrow, and we'll continue on. Also got the Game Dev show on Sunday morning. Jason Story, pretty sure we'll be back, and I know Salim said he was going to be coming again soon, and hopefully a couple of the other guys are going to be back as well. Andrew, I'm looking at you. And then also the Game Dev course is down below. The bundle we've got going on with Thomas Brush ends in tomorrow, so if you wanted to grab that, it's kind of the last chance for that. And then other than that, I guess thanks again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Just go drop the stuff on Facebook and everything else, and leave a comment afterwards if you've got ideas or thoughts on this on the RTS, just what it should build, or just ways to make it better. Again, it's kind of a loose idea I've had for a long time and been wanting to build, and it's kind of slowly coming together. So very open to new ideas and new things to add in. I really just want like a 0-hour style thing where you're in that theme and everybody's fighting, and the battles last for like an hour or 2. Maybe you set a time for like how long the storm takes. I'm sure some people would be crazy and go like 12 hours or whatever, as like me as a teenager. Anyway, thanks again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and all that stuff. And I guess I will see you later. I got people waiting for me now. All right, bye.